Chartwell is a country house near Westerham, Kent, and it's in southeast of England. For over 40 years it became the home of Sir Winston Churchill. He bought the property in 1922 and lived there until shortly before his death in January 1965. In the 30s, when Churchill was out of political office, Chartwell became the centre of his world. His dining table, he gathered those who could assist his campaign against German rearmament and the British government's response of appeasement. In his study, he composed speeches and wrote books. In his garden, he built walls, constructed lakes, and painted. And during the Second World War, Chartwell was largely unused, the Churchills returning after he lost the 1945 election. In 1953, when again Prime Minister, the house became Churchill's refuge when he suffered a debilitating stroke. In October 1964, he left for the last time, dying in his London home on the 24th of January 1965. The earliest recorded mention of the house and land dates to 1362, when it was sold by a William Atwell. The original name is Chartwell, a spring to the north of the current house, and chart being an Old English word for rough ground. The site has been built upon at least as early as the 16th century, when the estate was called. Henry VIII was reputed to have stayed in the house during the courtship of Anne Boleyn at nearby Hever Castle. Elements of the Tudor house are still visible, and Historic England listing for Chartwell notes that 16th or possibly the 17th century brickwork can be seen in some of the external walls. In the 17th and 18th centuries, the house was used as a farmhouse, and its ownership was subject to frequent change. On the 22nd of September 1836, the property was auctioned at Cheapside, advertised as a suitable abode for the genteel family. Currently, the National Trust own Chartwell House, and the house has been restored and preserved as it looked in the 1920s and 30s at the time of the Trust's purchase. Churchill commented to leaving it garnished and furnished so it would be to the interest of the public. The rooms are decorated with memorabilia and gifts, and the original furnishings and books, as well as honours and medals that Churchill received. Lady Churchill, long-time secretary Grace Hamblin, was appointed the first administrator of the house. Earlier in her career, Miss Hamblin had undertaken the destruction of the portrait of Churchill painted by Graham Sutherland. The picture, a gift from both Houses of Parliament on Churchill's 80th birthday in 1954, was loathed by both Churchill and Lady Churchill and had been stored in the cellars of Chartwell. Chartwell is a fantastic place to visit, having grounds to walk around, the house to explore, the art studio to study Churchill's paintings. He was an extremely fascinating gentleman. As I said, owned by the National Trust and well worth a visit.